Welcome back to your latest industry recap. Some updates on Air Canada, who have had a pretty interesting month of August thus far, and some news with Boeing. Want to begin there as Boeing published its orders and deliveries from July 2025. Always the headlines will be on how many aircraft were ordered and how many planes were delivered. The report also provides us with a greater picture of dealings during the 31-day period, and overall the month was met with a lower confirmed aircraft order tally, but there are many more in the works and expected to be finalised thanks to trade agreements, so don't worry too much there. There are positives for the future. The 31 total orders is a reduction from 1 month prior, but the 737 MAX continues to be at the limelight. Arguably, some of the biggest stories, however, centre around the changes that took place during the month. Firstly, the plane maker confirmed that 737 MAX jets were going to be heading to Chinese carriers in new placements. That ranges from China Eastern, China Southern, Shandong Airlines, and Shemin, with BOC Aviation, a leading aircraft lessor. Meanwhile, we know that Vueling was confirmed to be the end destination of 737 MAX aircraft, which were ordered by International Airlines Group, but did not at the time of the first purchase have an end destination in mind. This is very much a historic position now that IAG has put Vueling in as they make the switch from Airbus to Boeing with a greater reliance on the 737 MAX product. During the month, Hawaiian Airlines also converted orders for the 787 with 787-9s scheduled to the 787-10. The 787s we know are crucial for the future of the group. If we're talking an airline and aircraft combo that's been in the news for the last 6 months, there's really been none other as much than the Hawaiian Airlines 787, driven by Alaska Airlines thanks to the purchase and the utilization now of Seattle. We expect that to become a gateway for the world, aiming to have 12 really 12 of your long-range international routes present by 2030. Iraqi Airways also cancelled an order, the 787-9, but on top of that, look to convert orders similarly to Hawaiian Airlines from the smallest 787-8 up to the middle ground 787-9. It is absolutely not uncommon for airlines to adjust their order book sometime after the initial contract signing. This comes as airlines will work with the respective plane maker of the variant in mind to best suit their agenda, and this can shift many years after first purchase. More often than not, it would occur that, say, with the 787 series, an airline may have committed to the smallest member, but in the years after ordering, they see greater demand on their network and have found a new use for the aircraft, and to facilitate that, they have to upgauge to the larger model. During July, 48 aircraft were also delivered by the plane maker, with the bulk load of deliveries going to the surprise of no one for the most popular single-aisle 737 MAX. This saw a decline from the 60 aeroplanes that were shipped off the previous month. However, importantly, it does actually still represent a rise from the previous year and all the years before that, showing that there is steady improvement. Additionally, the plane maker has seen a jump of more than 100 units in its year-to-date commercial aircraft deliveries, specifically 110. This is thanks to the continued increase in production of the MAX. While caps will still exist across the last year, Boeing has been able to work its way back up to the cap that has been implemented, whereas before, you may recall that if anything, those production rates were way lower than expected and nowhere near the cap. It has been a very steady process, and a lot of work has been conducted to get Boeing back to this position. Moving forward, it will be keen to obtain those necessary approvals if they want to have a chance of working through the backlog, which only continues to increase. While certainly the backlog is strong, all your aircraft are coming with delays. For example, Fly Dubai confirming now that while it is accepting deliveries and they are speeding up in nature, they are also 20 planes short of the intended number that they would ideally like. And this is an industry-wide problem that airlines are being forced to navigate through. Over to Canadian flag carrier Air Canada, with the flight suspension saga really now bringing the effects to the business. In a published statement a week ago, the company confirmed that its guidance for the third quarter, and now also the full year of 2025, are being suspended. The suspension follows the operational suspension that occurred occurred, which impacted the business in more ways than one. It saw employees strike for better conditions, and this also notably included pay. It follows the Canadian Industrial Relations Board telling Air Canada all the way back on August 17th that they wanted the resumption of operations to take place. That did not pan out as intended despite the orders. Air Canada said the Canadian Union of Public Employees, which represented those on strike, illegally directed those to defy the order and continue not in employment. And as a result from that point, Air Canada continued the suspension of its operations and was not able to commence the limited flying schedule as intended on August 17. And as a result of all of this, the airline believes it has been given no choice but to suspend guidance for the third quarter and also its upcoming full year 2025 operating results. The thing is, with these groundings and strike action, every hour that this continues to take place, the worse the position gets for an airline such as Air Canada, where losses can very much reach catastrophic levels and impact them for the remainder of the year. And it is really indicative of the position that the union and the flight attendants had, which was to take a stand. What didn't help between all of this was the big gap that was felt between the CEO and the employees immediately after they defied that order to get the aircraft back in the skies. Why did the strike happen? Well, it involved Air Canada cabin crew members, and this collective of employees were striking as part of a stalemate in ongoing attempts to secure a new contract, which had been ongoing for some time. As I'll always say, strike action is typically a last resort, and a company and union would work in all ways possible to not have this take place. But if there's no other alternative and both parties are not coming to the table to agree to a mutually beneficial contract, that is something we see. Air Canada has not been the first to be affected. You may recall it happened quite frequently over at German flag carrier Lufthansa, and has definitely been a more prominent thing emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen the cost of living dramatically increase, and with that, employees within the aviation industry feel that they should be better compensated. And the reality is, you might be a teenager plotting your career. You may be someone in their 40s watching this and also have been wanting to join the aviation industry. You will probably realize that for your jobs such as baggage handling and others, the pay in comparison to the work and its importance, and also if we're just talking a full-time wage, is not really that adequate. I know it was something I looked at in the last 5 years, and it was quite disappointing to see where that was at. So it is not surprising in the slightest, with how expensive everything has become, that we're seeing more and more people strike and more people try and rectify their contracts, seeing other carriers accept something similar. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.
And we'll fly. Oh, we'll fly.